So they have a comic out with Jason Todd, Robin, and Batman. I thought this was gonna be fucking sick, fucking amazing. I can't wait to see them go ahead and do their thing. The art's cool. The story and characterization is not it, Chief. I'm not gonna lie. The story is basically just a worst Batman versus Damian Wayne Robin. Jason who apparently is trained and talented, but continuously gets punched in the face and loses frame one. Right. Batman is overprotective, rightfully so, because he lost to Robin already, so he just wants to go ahead and make sure he doesn't do that shit again. And I understand that they are trying the balancing out act where Bruce was incredibly serious and Dick was the one who cared and things up and until things came to a head when they bumped heads and Dick went ahead and left. Now it's the opposite. It's Jason being too serious about the mission and Bruce trying to allow him to be a kid and allow him like freedoms that he didn't allow Dick Grayson to have when he was Robin, right? Which would be fine if they actually were given time to develop any of, even Alfred, who has always been someone who has accepted the boys, trusted Bruce's judgment, and try to be the mediator when things get like a little bit too heated. He is now suggesting letting Jason Todd go, which is fucking insane. Like, what do you mean that you're having Alfred just go ahead and allowed? Is he like he's fine with just letting him go? Like, that's fucking insane. Then after finding the criminal called Cuckoo again, drunk and using heroin, Jason froze up because granted his I think mom or dad would use heroin, and then he gets punched in the face, and then some guy would kill Cuckoo and tell Batman that he isn't doing shit for Gotham anymore, that it's now his turn to go to war against crime for real and end them permanently. And the guy disappears after, I guess, I honestly did not believe Batman would just lose like track of this one guy, right? I'm like, what the fuck? So Batman just lets him go. I mean, I guess whatever, right? Then after coming back to the Batcave and talking, being the little shit that he is here. Granted, he's still a kid, but he storms away from Bruce, and he still feels like he isn't going to give up on Jason. But he did realize that at a certain point, he did think that Jason killed Cuckoo, which kind of made him think about how he feels about the whole entire situation now. But at some point, Nightwing goes ahead and takes him on patrol. Everything seems like it's progressing, but Jason completely shuts down any need to be a fucking kid and be treated like one, and he wants to focus on the mission. He wants to be better. He wants to succeed. He wants to be like Batman, but he doesn't feel like Batman is pushing him to be like that. Contrary to how he treated Dick, which pushed him away, which is why things are a bit flip-flopped. And where what they are doing here with all this, but then Jason leaves to where the guy is based at and leaves on patrol with him instead. And this all just feels like a mix between Batman v Robin and the Red Hood, because what the fuck? Do you guys remember that Red Hood multi-ending movie that came out maybe a year or two ago or some shit? Similar like that. You could almost to how Red Hood would take in Bruce's son and train him to be his sidekick and stuff in one of the endings. This is how it's kind of like that, which is kind of annoying, right, to me. I don't really like that. I don't vibe with any of this besides the art, right? The art's pretty good, but oh my, the story and the characterization of Jason Alfred just hurts my fucking soul. Like, we don't even get a flashback to when he finds Jason at all, taking his fucking wheels. Like, what do you mean? That's iconic right there. I saw recently of Wonder Woman's daughter, right? I'm pretty sure it was her daughter, Trinity, and I'm pretty sure she was sent back in time and meets a young Jason Todd, who she helps solve crimes and obviously are flirting, but they're kids, right? But it was mainly really nice to see Jason written and done well. Like, we can see the light and happiness that he had before his crowbar session with the Joker when he was a little bit older. I wanted to see that here. I wanted to see Jason, who always has amazing talent for combat, be used more here. to see that light at the end, to see that light in him before we see that, before we see like the crazy ass shit he'll get into later on, right? Before we see like the darkness that takes hold of him later. I want to see him approach things differently than Dick Grayson, and maybe add a more terror and more manipulation aspect to his fighting when it comes to larger groups of people, where we see the reason why he is so overconfident in his skills that Joker takes advantage of. I love Jason Todd, and I love that his whole aspect is that bright light he emitted, even with his anger issues that comes from the path of justice, was snuffed out by the Joker only to be brought back, but damaged when he was brought back to life. So far, Robin and Batman Jason Todd is not something, or anything for me that I would really vibe with or really reach out if I knew the story. If I knew like the basics of the story, I'd probably be like, I probably won't pick this up, but I'm going to keep an eye on this, because even though it slightly pisses me off, this comic mainly just disappointed me, honestly. But hopefully it gets better. But it looks like but it just looks like a Red Hood, Batman v Robin combo, and it might just kind of suck and treat Jason like a little asshole who deserved what he got. And yeah, I don't know, like this guy, like he's just the Red Hood. Like I don't know if they're trying to make it to where he inspires Jason's ideology as the Red Hood later on. I'll keep an eye on this, but I definitely am not feeling this comic at all, besides maybe the art. Never heard any chatter about this either, so maybe DC doesn't really have much faith in this either. I don't know if this guy is damn, what was this guy's grifter? I don't know if this guy is grifting or just some random guy, some new character, whatever the fuck, right? But Jesus Christ. Anyways, what do you guys think of the comic? If you read it, if you haven't picked this up yet, and you are now just listening to my video kind of explaining it, what do you guys think? Are there any positives that you think will come from this? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next time. And healthy, and I can't speak. Stay safe and healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically. See you guys next time. Peace.